pressing pans, and moved down to London when I turned professional. Moved away from my family, my loved ones, my home comforts. I believe that keeps the fire and the desire and the will to win in my stomach.
This tournament has had a lot of issues, but I am very happy that it didn't fall apart. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live, and it's official. And also, the undercard is, obviously with Josh Taylor versus Ivan Baranchyk for the WBC Silver and IBF Championship. But then Inoue versus Emmanuel Rodriguez. Please subscribe. I'll links to my social media right down below in the description box. And, a lot of people thought that it was going to fall apart, meaning that Ivan Baranchyk was having some issues with the tournament. It's been rumors abound for months now that he wanted out. But because not necessarily himself, well, since he's the champion, he has to be in the tournament. But the IBF title is contracted to be in the tournament. And the IBF is very strict. They just don't be letting shit go down. So it's supposed to be on May the 18th in Glasgow, Scotland, live here in the States on the Zone. Not sure if anybody in the UK is going to pick it up, because they've been having some real issues this season getting televised over in the UK, meaning the World Boxing Super Series. So let's talk about the tournament. And I'm trying to figure out where to start, because every video I have to explain this. Every single video I have to explain what the tournament is. So if you don't remember, last year the first World Boxing Super Series crowned Alexander Usyk to be the cruiserweight champion. This year we have 3 divisions. Oh, and at 168, Liam Smith won against George Groves in the finals. So this year we have 3 divisions. I really can't go through all of them right now. I tell you what you do. Just Google, these fights. Not even Google. Just go on YouTube. Donaire versus Burnett. I covered that. TT versus Loyan. I covered that. Go watch my preview for Donaire versus TT. I'm pretty sure I did that. Like I've been covering them. Or just click the hashtag right down below, Wbss. I've been using that too, at least for my recent videos. So, in the case of the 140-pound division, in this case, it's going to, damn it, where is, shit, here it is. Sorry, it's been a rough morning. It is 10:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, April the 8th, 2019. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. So, Jose Ramirez, the top-ranked fighter. He is the WBC champion. Regis Prograis is what? The WBC interim champion, correct? And then Josh Taylor is the WBC silver champion. Josh Taylor is Regis Prograis' mandatory. Regis Prograis is Jose Ramirez's mandatory. And the way it's supposed to go is the winners are supposed to fight. But in fact, the winner of the World Boxing Super Series will have that WBC interim, title that, or is the silver? Wait a minute. The winner of the World Boxing Super Series will have Regis Prograis' title, right? It's the WBC interim, correct? He's fighting Kirill Relak, by the way. On, where's it at, Ron? April 27th. Couple of weeks. We got to get this video out soon. WBC Diamond Championship, not interim. But basically that means, like I said, he's the mandatory for Jose Ramirez. So, to move on, you have Kirill Relak, who's once again taking on Regis Prograis, and then the winner of that, he will have a legitimate title, meaning Regis Prograis, if he wins. Or Kirill Relak, he'll move on, but Regis Prograis is supposed to win. Ivan Baranchyk, who's taking on Josh Taylor, what we're talking about right now, is fighting on May the 18th in Glasgow for that IBF, and the winner of the World Boxing Super Series will have, basically 2 titles and a mandatory for Jose Ramirez. And then you have Maurice Hooker, who's mandatory, Jack Catterall, who's fighting very soon. That old Howard Davies fight. And Maurice Hooker is a DAZN fighter, but, he has expressed interest in fighting Jose Ramirez. But would they be able to make it happen? And Jose Ramirez could possibly move up to 147 to fight Terrence Crawford, as the 147-pound stable for Top Rank is pretty top-heavy, with pretty much only Terrence Crawford. And second in line is Iglitis Kavalauskas. Right? So, in a perfect world for the World Boxing Super Series, we would see Regis Prograis defeat Crow Lock and Josh Taylor defeat Ivan Baranchyk, and then they have, you know, that would be a huge fight for the 147-pound division. And also, we'll be able to find out who's Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis really are, because in my opinion, now don't get me wrong, Maurice Hooker is the man, especially with what he had to go through with the weight and all that to be able to dominate like he did in his last fight. So, you know, okay. Who, in your opinion, is the best? We're not talking about record-wise. We're talking about skill-wise from these 140-pound fighters. For example, who out of these five, you know, would come out on top between Jose Ramirez, Regis Prograis, Crow Lock, Ivan Baranchyk, Maurice Hooker? Who's the weakest? I'm going to say Crow Lock. Who's the second? You know, or who is the best? I'm going to say, you know, and we're talking about highest upside, even though he is 30 right now. He's not, you know, Regis Prograis is 30, correct? I'm going to say, skill-wise, I'm going to give it number one, Regis Prograis. Maurice Hooker, man, it's hard to, you know, forget what happened with Darlise Perez. What undercard was that? Was that, Kovalev Ward 1. It's hard to forget that, man. But every fighter, you know, great fighters, they have those type of fights, man. It's hard to forget that. But he the man, though. Like, he's grown into, like, that championship. He's just got to make that weight. Don't let that shit happen again, bro. They can't, you know. I remember we did a whole motherfucking stream. We was like, oh, motherfucking, he better make motherfucking weight. We was stressing. But he's there. He's at 140. Who's number one? Baranchyk is the sleeper, though. Dude is nice. We're just going to have to see. We're just going to have to see. Too bad we don't have anybody up in Glasgow to get to this monster card, man. You got Josh Taylor, Baranchyk, and then you got Inoue versus Rodriguez on the same card. That's a hardcore fans, rapper's delight. But see, a lot of YouTube media don't be covering these fights, man. The World Boxing Super Series to them is bum fights. It's a damn shame. Anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. We cover every single World Boxing Super Series tournament card. And yes, I got to get back on the ball with the cruiserweight because these fights are coming up. I'm salivating for Junior Dorticos versus Andrew Tabiti. Team Tabiti all the way. I'm salivating. Briedis versus Glowacki, you know, it's going to be this is a good-ass fight. Definitely a good-ass fight. Because you get to see, you know, both of these guys, like, can Briedis bounce back, but also can Glowacki, you know, continue his resurgence. You know. Then when you look at the bantamweight, Donaire versus Tite. Donaire hasn't been to 118 before Burnett for what? It was like 12 fights or something. 7 years we had counted. Maybe longer, I forgot the exact how many years. But if he was to beat Tite and move on to the finals, and then him and Inoue in the finals, they can do that shit in Japan. They should do that shit in Japan, some open-air stadium somewhere. That's the money fight of the World Boxing Super Series right there, the big super money fight of the World Boxing Super Series. Donaire versus Inoue. And you know Donaire long in the tooth. See, we doing previews for the other fights. We got to say those for other videos, man. Y'all don't deserve it. Y'all don't deserve it. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live with FightView360.com. Check out the link to our merch store right down below in the description box. It's growing. Consider this phase 1. We got a lot of things planned. Podcast. We got film studies. Of course, you know, we are going over to Patreon to do that stuff. But thank you for your continued support. here at FightView360.com. This is TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.